Hello, I'm Andrew Dyer, and welcome to another edition of the Roundball Report, the only show in the area dedicated to highlighting the excellence of the high school, college, and professional basketball teams which play in the Washington metropolitan area. And here with me again is my co-host, the one and only Coach Nikki Lewis. And Coach, the Wizards shocked the world when we had them on last week. We were watching the Heat game where they won, and we thought they had solidified a sixth place position. Then Brooklyn strategically sat their players out. They ended up getting to the fifth position, setting up a matchup with the Bulls, and the Wizards were able to win game one.
And they were able to win game one. They pulled it out. They were a little inconsistent, but then they came back and fought their way through and won game one.
We'll get into that in a lot more detail later on, but we're going to get things started as we are going to let everyone know about the granddaddy of them all. The 41st annual Capital Classic All-Star Game is coming up this weekend at T.C. Williams High School, and we're fortunate enough to have one of the coaches and players that you're going to see here this weekend. We've got head coach Chris Lunn from Walt Whitman High School and all-met Theodore Roosevelt's Johnnie Shuler. Gentlemen, welcome to the Roundball Report.
Welcome, guys.
Now, Chris, the 41st annual Capital Classic, and Johnnie, you probably don't recall this, but this was the original. It used to be the McDonald's Capital Classic. Back when I was a little kid, Moses Malone, who's in the Hall of Fame now, they had the 10 Commandments of Moses Malone at the first Capital Classic, and the game has gone on. It's had sponsors throughout over the years. In the last 4 years, Bob Gagan and crew have kept it alive, and the T.C. Williams has been the site, and the talent level, as exemplified by yourself, has been there. So, Chris, tell the fans about what they can expect this weekend.
First off, I'm super excited to be a part of it. My first memory from the Capital Classic was in '92 when I was a freshman in high school. We went to Cole Fieldhouse to see it, and Jason Kidd was the big headliner. So it's real exciting to be a part of it. We're going to have practice Wednesday, Friday. We just wanted guys to be excited about it. We want them to play together and just play hard to show the rest of the country that DC has some pretty good basketball.
Now, Johnnie, of course, you had an incredible season at Theodore Roosevelt. You guys won the first DC, what do they call it? DC Scholastic Champion Athletic Association?
DC States.
DC State Championship. Your first team all met, and most importantly, with this game is to shine the examples what you guys have done at the high school level to go on and let the folks know where you decided to play collegiately.
Next year, I will be playing at LaSalle University in Philadelphia.
That's awesome, and I've heard great things about your game. Of course, bringing that DC style, and they let them free will up at LaSalle, so you got to be excited about that.
Yes, Coach G lets you play freely, but the main thing is how to play defense. Key point defense, pick and roll, offense, and he lets you have fun.
So offensively, you're a great player with 15 points for your season average. So defensively, is that going to be a struggle for you falling into that model?
I'm not sure about a struggle, but
adjustment.
Yeah, it's a little bit. Had to work harder on it.
Okay.
Had to work harder during the summertime, all season, push on it, and just try my best.
And Chris, of course, you guys had a great season this year, making it all the way to the state championship. Talk a little bit about, we know Johnnie's going to be playing. Talk about some of the other outstanding local and national talent the fans can see this weekend.
Yeah, there's going to be 4 guys, 2 on our team and 2 on the national roster that are committed to Maryland, Mello Trimble and Dion Wiley on our team. There's guys, we have a roster of guys going to Miami, Florida. Phil Booth, the point guard from Baltimore, is going to Villanova. So we got a roster full of really impressive resumes, and I'm super excited to get the chance to coach them and see these guys up close.
And Johnnie, you got to be excited to get a chance to go up against some of the guys that playing in the city. You might get a chance to see them on the AAU circuit, but it really get a chance to show your wares out in front of represent the local crowd out there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So any of your teammates, any other big names we can mention that the fans can check out?
I mean, there's the whole roster is a big name from the area. We got 6'10" center going to Louisville. A couple guys from Virginia, Potomac, Virginia. Riverdale Baptist has a couple big players. Just a fantastic roster.
Right. And they've got a different format this year. They're actually going to be 3 games?
Yeah, there's a game at 3 o'clock, 5 o'clock, and 7:30. I think the 3 o'clock game is the North versus South, suburban. Okay. And then 5 o'clock is the East versus West, and then 7:30 is the main game.
Right.
All-Star game.
Right, and you see some of the footage from last year's game. Is we've had a chance to be through a partnership with CTV, our producer Ron Owens for the event, and David Barnes, who's actually directing tonight. We've had a chance for the last 4 years, and it's amazing because when Markel Starks and those guys played at AAU, that was the first game that we did, and now they finished college, and we've continued to see, and it's been a bevy of talent that have come through that game. It's not been at Comcast or Verizon, but TC Williams has been a great venue, and we continue to have a very talented bevy. And it's amazing with the limitations on the amount of high school all-star games these kids can play in, that they're still able to, year after year, get a very talented, competitive field.
I think you said it earlier. Bob Gagan does a fantastic job organizing it and staying on top of all the details. Real nice guy, hard worker. And it's like you said, TC Williams is just a great venue for a game like this. It fits about, I think, 4,000 or 5,000 people, which is a great size crowd for a game like this.
Right.
Last year was my first year attending, and I thought it was great. I had only heard about it for I think 3 or 4 years. I haven't, 41st, so I haven't been around that long. But I am very excited to come out and see the new generation come through there and play. It's going to be great.
And one of the things, Chris, has always been unique about this, we used to have the preliminary games used to be called the scholarship games to give the college scouts a last look at some kids that for whatever reason hadn't committed. Do we still have a lot of uncommitted kids that are going to be playing on the games?
We have a decent number actually on our team too, I think, are still uncommitted. But in the preliminary games, like you said, there's a lot of guys who are good players who maybe get a chance to let some other people see them play. Because I know there's some guys, I think it's the North team that's mostly Montgomery County, which guys I'm familiar with, but there's some pretty good players on that roster that I don't think have committed anywhere yet, and I'm sure most teams are like that.
And Johnnie, one of the things that we talk about at the end of our show is that we have so many guys, especially when you see guys like Kevin Durant and the greats that are the best in the world that came right from this area. But in order for them to make the most of their opportunities, they had to get the academic thing situated. So I'm going to commend you to be able to be a qualifier. So talk about how you've had to have folks like Tony Langley of the DC Warriors in your ear to keep you focused on keeping things straight in the classroom to be able to take benefit of your basketball exploits.
Anthony Langley, he's my mentor, and he always just kept me focused, had my head straight. He told me things wrong, things bad, things to do. I mean, not to do.
Right.
And just focus hard, off the court, on the court.
And when you go around the AAU tournaments, local and nationally, do you see the impact? Oh man, this is a DC team because of what your predecessors have done. Do you feel like the reputation and the expectation level is high when teams are coming from this area?
Yeah, I think it's high, but like the game, I just focus on the game. Really, I don't really pay attention to the crowd and stuff like that.
So you feel like you'll be able to stay that focused once you get to college on the college level, because it is a little more rigorous. You have classes you have to stay on top of and workout schedules. Do you think that you're going to be able to stay on top of that? Or are you going to stay in touch with your mentor to help you stay focused?
Yes, I will always keep in touch with him. I think in college, I'm just stay focused on my books and basketball.
Good job.
And Chris, tell the fans about the unique things they can look forward to if they want to come out this weekend to appreciate the showcase. I mean, everybody knows about the McDonald's All-American game, the Jordan Classic, but the Capital Classic is the one that started it all off, and it's still going to be very representative this weekend.
Yeah, I think it's the longest-running high school all-star game, and I'm not quite sure on this if it's true, but I believe if you pay the admission, it gets you into all 3 games, I believe, the 3, 5, and 7:30. And there's going to, not just the 7:30 game, there's going to be some good talent on the floor at 3 and 5. It's just a great environment for a high school basketball game. Get to see some great players up close. So it's just a real good Saturday of basketball.